A very warm welcome to each one of you again to our channel. And today we are going to talk about trigonometrical equations. This is a part of the entire trigonometry that we have in class 11th. So stay connected with us, stay tuned till we complete our syllabus. And once again, we are doing the entire crash course for class 11th, especially for IISc. So if you haven't watched our previous videos, then please do watch those videos and comment us how do you like them and what can we improve in them, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel. Okay, so let us start with this topic now, that is trigonometrical equations. This is going to be quite interesting because it will be consisting of several derivations, not the tough ones but from the formula and from the things which you have already discussed, which you have already learned, right? So trigonometric equations, like we have studied general equations in algebra, like we used to study, like suppose if I have ax plus b is equal to 0, then this was my equation. Similarly, in this equation, if I am going to have my trigonometric functions, that means if I have sine theta, if I have cos theta or something like that, of trigonometric form, then that becomes my trigonometric equation. That means if I am writing sine theta is equal to 0, then this becomes my trigonometric equation. So it was as simple as that. Simply, whatever be my equation, if it is having any trigonometric, trigonometric value in it, then it becomes my trigonometric equation. Now, this could again be linear, it could be cubic, it could be like linear also, quadratic also and cubic also, and even of higher degrees also you can have. So that means if the highest power of this variable, since it is 1 over here, it is my linear trigonometric equation. If I was having of this form, let us assume it to be like this, sine square theta is equal to 1 by 4 if I say, then this equation, it becomes my quadratic equation because the highest power of the variable over here is theta, because theta's value can change. So the highest power of this variable or this polynomial, that is equal to 2, and so it becomes my quadratic equation. Similarly, I'll be having my cubic equations. Now, in these equations, the things that we have studied in the previous videos from this trigonometry only, that means like these all functions which are there, all the trigonometric functions, they are periodic in nature. That means their values, they keep on changing after a certain period of time. That could be 180 degree, it could be 360 degree, that means it could be pi or it could be 2 pi. Pi is equal to 180 degree. Pi is equal to 180 degrees are there, so pi radians is equal to 180 degrees we know. That means pi is equal to 180 degree. So some functions may be varying after 180 degree, like we have tan functions and cot function. They show periodicity after every pi. That means pi, then 2 pi, not 2 pi but pi, 3 pi, 5 pi. Like this they will be showing periodicity, and so will be the case for other trigonometric functions. So when I have the value of my trigonometric function, now let us first talk about the solutions. If my question is like this, that means sine theta is equal to 0, then whatever I'll get by solving this equation, whatever be the value of my theta, that is called the solution of my equation, right? Solution of my equation. That means if now, that was what I was talking about. Now, if my solution, whatever be the value for theta or any other variable which I have considered, for the matter being x, y, z or anything like that, then if its value is lying between 0 and 360 degree, 0 and 360 degree, because if you see that quadrant, when you see the coordinate geometry over there, coordinate axis, then it is lying till 360 degree, right? That means if I have my values, the solution that is there of this particular trigonometric equation, if it is lying between 0 and 360 degrees, it is one complete cycle that is formed, then it is said to be the principal solution, right? It is called the principal solution. Now, with the help of this principal solution, we can get to the general solution. General solution is when I can have it, the periodicity which I talked about. So when that periodicity is there, that means there has to be some number, there has to be some commonality between these values so that it can vary. Now, so that same equation form of a thing that we write, that same sentence that is there, that is said to be the general solution. That means, let us see an example. Right now we were talking about this thing, tan function. So I said that let us see that tan 0 degree is what? 0, right? Now if you see tan 90 degree, then it is 1, and then tan 180 degree, if you see, then again it becomes 0. That means periodicity is there after 180 degree. 180 degree is pi, so it is having 0, pi, then similar will be the value at 3 pi, then it will be at 5 pi. So that means you can have n pi's, right? To n pi you will be having that 180 degree, then it 2 pi also will have the same value. So that periodicity is there. That means in place of 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, I can write n pi, because it is going to extend till n number. So that n pi which I am writing, that becomes my general solution. So two terms over here. First the principal solution, and the second one being the general solution. Now, so I hope that this thing is very much clear now, what is a principal solution and what is a general solution. Now after this, if you want, then please copy down this table, because it is going to be of much help to you, and these all things now we are going to derive, right? We are going to derive so that you don't forget them, and they are going to be very easy right now. So let us assume now we'll be and please see, we'll be doing for sine, cos and tan. Okay, sine, cos, tan we'll take with us, and if in the question there will be values which will be the reciprocal of these, and you can quite like easily you can inverse them, you can make the reciprocal of them and change them into sine, cos, tan again. Okay, so let us assume that my first equation is, that is sine theta is equal to 0. So what are we doing? We are trying to get the solution, that is general solution of our equation. So we are, of these equations which are given to us, we will be finding the general solution for them. The first equation is sine theta is equal to 0. Now when sine theta is equal to 0 degree, I know that sine theta is 0 degree at 0 only, right? Then my sine value can be 0 at sine of 180 degree. That means at pi. It can be at minus pi also. Why? Why minus pi now? There may be a question that may come in your mind that why are we taking minus pi when we know that the sine of minus theta becomes minus sine theta. So why is it? Because we have considered 0 over here. So if you have sine theta is equal to, like you can have sine 0 degree, you know this thing, sine of 180 degree also you can take, you can consider till that. Now why are we writing sine of minus 180 degree? So we are writing it because we are having 0 over here, and 0 plus minus does not make any effect. That means, so from here I can say 0, then so will be the case with 2 pi also, then 3 pi also. That means my theta is going to be 0 degree. It can be plus minus 1 pi, it could be plus minus 2 pi, and so on and so forth. From this I can see over here. And so I can, if you use the general form, now how to write the general one? Then my general form can become theta is equal to n pi, that means plus minus it could be. So n, so in place of plus minus we can write theta is equal to n pi, and such that n is equal to an integer. Integer means plus minus both values and even 0. And so if you put 0 over here, it becomes 0. So theta is equal to 0. This I was getting satisfied. If I put minus 1, that is minus pi means minus 180 degree, satisfied. If I put plus 1, that is plus pi, then plus 180 degree, that also satisfied. So this is my general solution when my question is like this, when my equation is like this, sine theta is equal to 0 degree, then my solution or general solution becomes theta is equal to n pi, right? So we have solved this first one. So we have derived this. Now let us assume our second equation is that cos theta is equal to 0 degree. Now when cos theta is equal to 0 degree, so we know that cos value becomes 0 at cos 90 degree first time, because we have learnt the the standard angles which are there. So my second equation is cos theta is equal to 0 degree. When is this case? When I have cos theta is equal to cos of 90 degree. Now since you see, now pi is equal to 180 degree, that means if I do pi by 2, that can become 90, because 180 by 2 is 90. That means in place of cos 90, can I write pi by 2? Yes. So I can write pi by 2. Then this value will then be repeated at 3 pi by 2. If you want, you can see also, because 3 into pi by 2 is 90, that means 270. Now 270 degree over here you are getting, right? Over here you are getting in this value. So when you will do like 360 minus theta, if you are doing cos of 360 minus theta minus 270, will you get 90 degree? And we know that cos of, we have studied in the previous video, that is cos of this 360 minus, if you write 270, then it is equal to 90 degree, and we know that cos of 90 degree is equal to 1. And this, because if you are moving in the fourth quadrant, please go and watch the previous video if you haven't watched that how to find out in which quadrant which angle will be positive. Then over here cos becomes positive, and so we'll have the plus 1 value over here. That means, so we can say that cos of 3 pi by 2 is also the same. Now similar will be the case for cos of minus pi by 2. Why will it be minus pi by 2? Because from one side you get that cos of minus pi by 2, in itself it will become plus cos pi by 2, because minus it will become plus. That way also you can see, or the other way you can see is it is 0 degree. That means it is going to have no effect only, whether you take positive or negative. That means, so from these values, can I see, if I do 2n plus 1, I have to get pi, then I have to get 3 pi, then I have to get 5 pi, I have to leave 1 values in between. That means if I do 2n plus 1, that means if I put here 1, then 2 ones are 2 plus 1, I get 3. If I put 0 over here, then 2 into 0 is 0 plus 1, that is 1. So I am getting it. That means the general solution for it could be 2n plus 1 pi by 2. 2n plus 1 pi by 2. That means theta could be written as 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Where this n, always please remember, when you're solving this, and every time whenever you're taking n or m or whatever it is, then it is integers, then it is not a natural number or whole number, but it is an integer. That means plus minus 0, any values you can take and it will be valid for them. So 2n plus 1 pi by 2 is general solution for cos theta is equal to 0 equation which is given to us. Now let us quickly see third one, that is the third equation that is there. Basically tan theta is equal to 0 degree. Now what to do when it is tan theta is equal to 0 degree? So tan theta is equal to 0 degree. I know tan 0 is 0, right? So tan theta is equal to 0 at 0 degree. Then it is at pi, that is 180 degree. Then it is at pi, then it is at 2 pi, it is at 3 pi, and so on. If you want you can see also, and so will be the case with negative values. That means from the first, that is sin theta, it is same that was there for sin theta. So is the case with tan theta also. So therefore the general solution for theta in this case will be equal to n pi, such that n is equal to and belongs to an integer, right? This is general solution for tan theta is equal to 0 equation, where theta is equal to n pi. N could be any integer taken. So these three we have done, the simple ones, and they are the basics. So whenever you are going to solve other values, then you will be using them. So please remember them. There is nothing typical in it. You can simply remember sin theta is equal to 0, then theta is equal to n pi. When cos theta is equal to 0, then theta is equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2. And when tan theta is equal to 0, then theta is equal to n pi. Now another type of equations that we will be having is like this: sin x is equal to sin of y. First we will see for sin, then cos, and then finally tan. So now if I have an equation like this, that is sin theta is equal to sin y. Now how am I going to solve it? I will be bringing this term to this side. That means I can write it as sin x minus sin y is equal to 0. Can I write it like this? Right? Now when I have this thing, that is sin x minus sin y is equal to 0, then I know that sin a minus sin b is formula is 2 times cos a plus b by 2 sin a minus b by 2 from the previous videos. Please watch them for the compound and multiple angles, right? So I can write it as 2 times sin a plus b by 2. This will be a whole, like a whole bracket it will be, and cos, actually it is cos, sorry. So it is cos, 2 times cos x plus y by 2, and it will be sin x minus y by 2, and this is equal to 0 as it is. This is from the formula that we are getting. Right. Now this equation means that either cos value is equal to 0 or my sin value is equal to 0. So two parts I can divide my board into. That is first one, that is cos of x plus y by 2 is equal to 0, or either it is there, that means either this will happen or that the other one will happen. So or sine x minus y by 2 is equal to 0. This, can I assume it to be theta? Now since it is theta, that means I can write it as cos theta is equal to 0. I know what is the cos theta is equal to, then theta is equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2. That means in place of theta, if I simply write theta, that means it's theta. Assuming this, let me mark it with the other, so this is clear now. This is theta over here, and in this case we will consider this to be theta, right? So if this is theta, then cos theta is equal to 0. Then what is the theta part? Theta, that is x plus y by 2, then that is equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2. That is equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Nothing we are doing, just from the previous derivations which we have done, we have put this value over here. 2 getting cancelled, so I have x plus y is equal to 2n plus 1 into pi. That means from here x is equal to 2n plus 1 pi minus y. This becomes our first equation, right? And then from the second side which is there, from here if you see, then I have sine of theta is equal to 0. Sine theta is equal to 0, then my theta is equal to n pi. That means theta, that is x minus y by 2 is equal to n pi. That means when I bring this 2 over here, x minus y is equal to 2n pi. That means x is equal to 2n pi plus y. This is my second equation. This is my second equation. Now when I combine both of these equations, you can combine them yourself, and then you will get finally that theta is equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised to the power n into y. Okay, this is what you are going to get from here. In place of theta, we will be having x over here, because in the question we were having x. So x is equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised to the power n y. So similarly, it is there that when sine theta is equal to sine alpha, then we have theta is equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised to the power n alpha. Right? This is the derivation for it when sine x is equal to sine y or sine theta is equal to sine alpha. Now, second derivation, that if you want then you can copy it also. If you want then please copy it down so that it remains in your mind, you know. Okay. Now let us see for cos, where we have cos theta is equal to cos alpha, equation of that sort. Then how are we going to solve it? Derivation for it, what will be the value for theta in that case? So if I have cos theta is equal to cos alpha, let us assume in our case cos x is equal to cos y. Okay, so when we have cos x is equal to cos y, again doing the same step, that is similar procedure is there as we were doing for sine. Only thing is that when I be writing cos, then my formula will change simply and nothing else. So cos x minus cos y is equal to 0, and I know cos a minus cos b is equal to 2 times sine a plus b by 2 sine b minus a by 2. Please remember b minus a by 2. So I will be writing it as 2 times sine x plus y by 2 and sine y minus x by 2, and this is equal to 0. Now, can I take minus sign common from here so that I can have x minus y? So I will be taking minus 2 over here, and sine I can write x plus y by 2, and I can write it as sine of x minus y by 2 is equal to 0. Now that means minus 2, if it goes this side and it becomes 0 only. So that means my either sine x plus y by 2 is equal to 0 or sine x minus y by 2 is equal to 0. Writing both of them and solving them separately. So sine x plus y by 2 is equal to 0 or my sine x minus y by 2 is equal to 0. Right? And we have seen, let us assume this to be theta again. So if this entire value is theta and this entire value is again theta, then I know sine theta is equal to 0. That means theta is equal to n pi. That means in place of this theta, entire value theta is x plus y by 2. This is equal to n pi. That means x plus y is equal to 2n pi. Taking this to this side, and so x is equal to 2n pi minus y. Okay, this is our first equation, and the second one, if you solve from here, then you'll get x minus y by 2 is equal to n pi again. That means x minus y is equal to 2n pi, or I can write x is equal to 2n pi plus y. This is my second equation. Combining both these equations, I get x is equal to 2n pi plus minus y, where n is any integer. So x is equal to 2n pi plus minus y, and this is similar to this equation, that is when cos theta is equal to cos alpha, then I am getting theta is equal to 2n pi plus minus alpha. In this case, x is equal to 2n pi plus minus y. Right? This was the derivation for it. You can simply learn this thing also. It will be of much help to you. And derivation you can see so that you don't forget the formula. In case you forget them, then you can simply then and there within 1 minute you can derive them out. That is why I am solving this for you. So this is the value we were getting for sine when we were having cos theta is equal to cos alpha. Now the last thing of this sort will be for tan. So in tan, we don't complicate things, right? So what we do in solving for tan, we try making it in sine only. We'll convert it in sine only. That means sine upon cos. We know that it is we can write it as sine quotient. Quotient it is there. Quotient relation we have seen in the previous video. So now my question is, tan of x is equal to tan of y. This is the trigonometric equation given to me. Now, so tan x is equal to tan by, that means I can write tan x as sin x upon cos x is equal to sin y upon cos y. Is it clear till now? Now bringing this term to the other side. So sin x upon cos x minus, this is sin y upon cos y is equal to 0. Right? Taking the LCM, simple solving, simple basic mathematics. I write here sin x cos y minus, if I take this side, that means it is sin y cos x, and this is equal to 0. This LCM part, the denominator part can go to the other side, and it will become 0 over there, and so I have just this part left out with me. Now this part, if you see, learning the previous formulas, the first and the basic formula that was there, sin of a minus b, that is equal to sin a cos b minus sin b cos a. So I can write it as sin of a minus b, that is equal to 0, and this I assume to be theta again. That means sin theta is equal to 0. When is the case? When my theta is equal to n pi. That means x is equal to n pi plus y, where n is any integer. So x is equal to n pi plus y. This is the same as theta is equal to n pi plus alpha. So this is how we derive for tan theta is equal to tan alpha also. Now, after this we have the square relations. We will be solving the equations which will be having squares with them. That means sin square theta is equal to sin square alpha will be there, right? So there also you have to use the formulas which were given in the compound and multiple angles part. So from there you will be getting it. So the first one that I have is sin square theta is equal to sin square alpha. So sin square theta, or I can write sin square x is equal to sin square y. Now I know that my sin square theta could be written as 1 minus cos 2 theta upon 2. How come? Let us just quickly go this side. That means 2 times sin square theta is equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta. That means because I was having cos 2x, so cos 2 theta is equal to 1 minus 2 sin square theta. This is from where we were getting it. So we reversed our step and we went to this one. If you remember it, that we were doing cos 2 theta is equal to, we were also having it as cos square theta minus sin square theta. So from there only you are getting this thing, right? So 1 minus cos 2x upon 2, and this is equal to 1 minus cos 2y upon 2. 2 getting cancelled both hand sides. Simply just removing them, and even 1. Since both sides it is plus, so either side, any one side you can bring, and that will be cancelled, and minus sign will also get cancelled. That means I will be left out with cos 2x is equal to cos 2y only simply. and this I assume to be theta over here, and when I have cos theta is equal to cos, this is alpha, then when I have cos theta is equal to cos alpha, then I know theta is equal to 2n pi plus minus alpha. That means theta is equal to 2n pi plus minus alpha, where alpha is 2y. 2 getting cancelled, 2 I can take common from both sides, it will be cancelled. That means x is equal to n pi plus minus y. This is my general solution that I am getting for sine square x is equal to sine square y. That is x is equal to n pi plus minus y. That means it is similar to theta is equal to n pi plus minus alpha. Right? Now, after this we will be seeing for cos square theta is equal to cos square alpha. So quickly seeing that one. It is going to be the same. The only thing is the formula that you have to use in the beginning. And so the formula will be just the opposite, means the sign will be changed and all things, other things will be the same. So we have cos square theta is equal to cos square alpha. Or let us say cos square x is equal to cos square y. Okay. Now this cos square theta in the same way could be written as, if I have cos square over there, then I can write it as 1 plus, okay, so cos I am having, that means I can write it as 1 plus cos square when it is there, then we can write it as 1 plus cos 2 theta by 2. When it is there it was minus, here I can write 1 plus cos 2x by 2. In the previous formula that we were using, we were writing 1 minus cos 2x by 2. Here we have, when it is for cos, our formula is 1 plus cos 2x by 2, and that is equal to 1 plus cos 2y by 2. Again 2 getting cancelled, 1 both hand sides. That means I am left out with cos 2x is equal to cos 2y, and from here if I have cos 2x is equal to cos 2y, 2x could be written as theta and 2y could be written as alpha. When I have cos theta is equal to cos alpha, then I have theta is equal to 2n pi plus minus alpha. So it is the same that we were doing for sine also. We will get the same values also. That means theta is equal to 2n pi plus minus alpha. 2 taking common from both hand sides and getting cancelled. So x is equal to n pi plus minus alpha. This is my general solution again. In this n is any integer and this is similar to theta is equal to n pi plus minus alpha. Okay. If you want, then you can copy it down. Okay. Now after this we have for tan, that is the last one, and then simple one other thing is there that we have. Okay. So now we are supposed to solve for tan. I have tan square x is equal to tan square y, right? Now my tan square x from the previous chapters, formulas only, I can write tan square x as 1 minus cos 2x upon 1 plus cos 2x. If you haven't learnt them, then please do learn them, or by the tricks that we saw in the previous video, solve it, you will get to this point. I am directly writing the formula over here. And then this could be written as 1 plus cos 2y upon 1 minus cos, sorry, it is minus over here, 1 minus cos 2y upon 1 plus cos 2y. Right? Now what I'll do, I'll add 1 both hand sides, then see what will happen. Because I have to read what I'm doing over here in the previous, in the basic steps, in the initial steps, what I'm doing over here is I'm just trying to reduce my equation so that it becomes at least equal to any of the previous ones which I have studied, so that I can get the formula for my other equations, right? So that is why what I'll do is I'll add 1 over here and 1 over here, both hand side I'll add 1, because of which what will happen is my cos the values will get cancelled out. Let's see how it will happen. So 1 minus cos 2x, if I have added 1, suppose in this step only, then I'll be taking the LCM, and so it will become 1 plus cos 2x over here, and the denominator part I can write equal to 1 plus cos 2x, and this will become 1 minus cos 2y plus 1 plus cos 2y upon 1 plus cos 2y. Now both hand sides, if you see this hand side, then minus cos 2x getting cancelled with plus cos 2x, and so I have 2 upon 1 plus cos 2x, and this is again the same thing, 2 upon 1 plus cos 2y. 2 getting cancelled. That means if it is 1 upon this, both hand sides, can I take it in the numerator part? Then that will also be the same. That means 1 plus cos 2x is equal to 1 plus cos 2y, 1 both hand sides. So again this is getting cancelled over here, and then I have cos 2x is equal to cos 2y, and simply as I have already seen, this assuming this to be theta, 2x is equal to theta, and assuming our 2y to be alpha, getting the same value again, we have theta is equal to, this theta was equal to n pi plus minus alpha. So theta is equal to 2n pi actually, 2n pi plus minus alpha. So that means x is equal to n pi plus minus y. This is my general solution. When tan square theta is equal to tan square alpha, then my solution is that theta is equal to n pi plus minus alpha, being the general solution of this trigonometric quadratic equation. Okay, if you want, you can copy this also down, because if you will be copying with me, if you will be writing down, solving down along with me, then it will be better stuck in your mind. Okay, so whenever you're watching any video, not just mine but any other video or any other lecture if you are attending, then please try that you have a copy and a register with you, or a register with you and a pen with you, so that you solve them along with. Okay, now seeing the last part of this chapter that is there, this one sort of questions, it is confirm, like if you get questions from this chapter, then you'll be getting that sort of a question, so you can just get it very much used to of solving that sort of question, and there are similar type of questions you will be getting. Let us see what is there in it. So what is there? Basically I have a cos theta plus b sin theta is equal to c. This is how my question will be given to me, and then I'll have to find out a general solution for it, or maybe that I'll have to get the value for theta. That is the general solution, or the principal solution I'll have to find out. So what I'll do is, now let us assume some assuming part we'll have to do here. Let us assume that a is equal to r cos alpha. Now how to learn where to take cos, where to take sine? See, a was connected with cos theta, so I am taking cos alpha over here, right? And b is there, so b is equal to r sin alpha. Sin theta was there, so with this I will be taking sin alpha. Now, if I do a square plus b square, if you see a square plus b square, then that becomes r square cos square alpha plus r square sin square alpha, isn't it? R square I can take common, then here it is cos square alpha plus sin square alpha. That means r square, and I know that cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 1. That means it becomes r square only. So a square plus b square is equal to r square. That means r is equal to under root of a square plus b square. Why am I doing it? Now see, r is equal to under root of a square plus b square. Is it clear till here? So this is what we have got. Now let me just rub this part, how we derive this thing. So r is equal to under root of a square plus b square. This is something that you can remember. This part also actually I rubbed it by mistake. So here what we assumed, that a was equal to r cos theta alpha and b was equal to r sin alpha. Please see, I haven't even learnt anything, so I am just solving by seeing from here. So I am also a beginner only, and I am even learning with you. So okay, so that's just quite like fine with us. And we have got that r is equal to under root of a square plus b square. Now see, in place of r, I can write a square plus b square. I can substitute that. That means from here I have, that is a upon r. A upon r, that is a upon under root of a square plus b square is equal to cos alpha, my first thing. And the second thing is, that is b upon r, that is under root of a square plus b square, that is equal to sin alpha. B upon under root of a square plus b square is equal to sin alpha, and a upon under root of a square plus b square is equal to cos alpha. Now, so in place of this is what I have got. That means if I divide this entire part, with a under root of a square plus b square, then see what will happen. Let us divide this entire part with this thing, under root of a square plus b square, the entire equation. So a upon under root of a square plus b square cos theta plus b upon under root of a square plus b square, this is sin theta, and that is equal to c upon under root of a square plus b square. There is one particular condition over here, that c which is there, the modulus of c will be less than equal to under root of a square plus b square. Please remember this condition. The modulus of c, mod of c is less than equal to what? Under root of a square plus b square. Now see from here. Can you observe something? That is, first of all we have got this. In place of this, can I write cos alpha? Yes, I can write it down. Right, so let us write it down. Cos alpha cos theta plus sin alpha sin theta, and that is equal to this entire part, that is c upon under root of a square plus b square. This is the formula for cos a minus b. Why? Because I have this as cos alpha, this is cos a cos b plus sin a sin b, that is cos a minus b formula. So I can write it as cos of theta minus alpha I am writing, because theta I have to get. So this is equal to c upon under root of a square plus b square. Let us assume this c upon a square plus b square to be equal to, let us assume that c upon a square plus b square under root, that is equal to cos of beta. Let us assume it to be. Okay, it is not there, but we are assuming it, that this entire value is equal to cos beta. Why? So that I can have both sides, cos and cos, and I can get some relation out of it. So cos of theta minus alpha is then equal to cos of beta. Then this entire part, although I have written theta here, but trying to compare it with the previous equations, so this we assume it to be entirely theta, and this is equal to cos alpha. Then I have theta is equal to 2n pi plus minus alpha. So theta, that is theta minus alpha, this is equal to what? This is equal to 2n pi plus minus alpha. Alpha is beta over here. Okay, just what was I doing? Please don't get confused with the values. Just see what it is written here. If you want, then assume. You can take instead of theta, you can take any other value also. Okay, instead of alpha and beta, you can take any other value also, so that it don't confuse you with the previous equation, right? So then from here, theta is equal to 2n pi plus alpha plus minus beta. Theta is equal to 2n pi plus alpha plus minus beta. So similar, because we have got this same part over here, we were deriving for that is why we are getting the same value. So a cos theta plus b sin theta is equal to 0, then theta is equal to 2n pi plus alpha plus minus beta. How will you solve these questions? How are you going to solve this? The similar way as we did, we will be taking out the under root of a square plus b square. A square, the part which is attached with the cos theta, and the part which is attached with the sin theta. These are the values for a and b respectively. Then calculating the under root part of them, square root of them, dividing it with the entire equation, and then you will get something, and with that you can solve with the help of the formulas which were there in the compound and multiple angles. And so for this type of question, I have got an example for you. So we will be solving it together. If you want, then you can watch it also, so that we can solve it and it's clear with you. And there's just one particular condition that you need to remember for this, that the modulus of c, what was c over there? That the last part, that means the right hand part was c, and that will be less than equal to under root of a square plus b square. Now this question I have got for you. Let us solve this. My question says root 3 sin theta minus cos theta is equal to root 2. Right? So what was my initial step? I already told you, under root of a square plus b square, dividing the entire equation with it. So what is my a over here? This is a. So a is root 3 and b is nothing there. That means my b is minus 1. Please take the sign along with. Okay, and then c is equal to root 2. Okay, now under root of this, this is 3 and this is plus 1, therefore under root of 4, and that is equal to 2. So I can verify it also that yes, my root 2 is definitely less than 2, therefore my condition is satisfied. Okay, so this is the first thing that we do, that is we have to divide the entire equation by 2 now. So this is sin theta minus 1 by 2 cos theta. Can I rationalize it? Yes, 1 by 2, sorry, simply it is root 2, I don't need to rationalize it, root 2 upon 2 I can do, right? Now this 2, can I write it as under root of 2 into under root of 2, because I know that I cannot have the cos theta and sin theta value as 2 because they lie between minus 1 and 1. But if I just write it as root 2 and root 2, then I can have 1 by root 2 over here, and which definitely I have a value. So I will be writing this directly as 1 by root 2 over here. So it is 1 by root 2. Now you see, we'll write it in the form of pi angles. Okay, so my root 3 by 2 is basically, what is it? That is the value that I have for cos of 30 degree. That means cos 30 is equal to pi by 6, right? This, and sin theta minus 1 by 2 is what? 1 by 2 is cos, I already have, so 1 by 2 is sin of 30 degree. Sin of 30 degree, that is sin of pi by 6. And this is cos theta, and this is equal to what? This is equal to sine of pi by 4. Sine of pi by 4, that is sine 45 degree. Now, why I am writing in this sine form? There is a reason for it, because I definitely have a formula for cos sin A cos B minus sin B cos A, but I don't have a formula when I have like this is equal to sine. In sine it is there, sine theta it is there. That is why I wrote theta, that is in the form of sine only. So you'll have to see that what could be the possible formula that you can frame out of it, and then try writing the solution in that particular trigonometrical ratio only, right? Now this is cos A, or let us say it is sin A cos B minus sin B cos A, and that is quickly the formula for sin of A minus B. So sin of A, that is theta, minus B, that is pi by 6. If you want, you can write sin theta first so that it doesn't confuse you. So it is sin theta minus pi by 6 is equal to sin of pi by 4. Can you see I have got sin both hand sides? Now sin, assuming this entire value to be theta again, and this is what? This is alpha. Then sin theta is equal to sin alpha, then my theta is equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised to the power n alpha. So this is there. That means sin theta is equal to sin alpha. That means theta, it is theta minus pi by 6, that is equal to what? That is equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised to the power n into y, or alpha it is there, and alpha in this case is equal to pi by 4. That means theta is equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised to the power n pi by 4 plus pi by 6. So this is my general solution, and so is my answer. Okay, so this sort of questions, you may be getting questions based on these formulas. So if you have derived along with me, then you will find that it's quite easy, and it is just nothing but the formulas which we have already seen in the previous chapter. Just using them, placing them, putting the values, and you're getting these particular values which are there. So you don't have to learn them, right? You can derive them then and there. Because I was explaining you, so it took a lot of time, but when you solve it, you will see that it is on your tips then. Okay? So here we end up with this chapter, this trigonometric ratios. This was all that was there in this chapter. I'll be coming shortly, in a very short span of time, we'll be coming with the last video that is there for trigonometry, and there we'll be winding up with the trigonometric part entirely. So if you haven't watched the previous videos, then please go and watch them and then come to this video, so that if you haven't watched them, if you don't know about compound and multiple angles, if you don't know about the relations which are there, then you will not get this. So please watch those videos, if not from my channel then from anywhere else, but please have an understanding of that and then only come to this. Okay, so until then, stay healthy, stay fit, stay blessed, and do like, share and subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.